Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive universal milestone. It's that defining moment that bridges our early hustle with the real world, the very first paycheck. So are you supposed to splurge it all or lock it away in savings? We're going to unpack the psychology behind it, the common traps we all fall into, and the absolute smartest strategies to handle this major money milestone.
I want you to take a second and cast your mind back. Remember that exact feeling of getting your very first paycheck? Think about that emotional rush. Maybe it was a physical paper envelope handed to you after weeks of flipping burgers, or maybe it was that sudden, glorious notification on your phone showing a direct deposit hitting your previously empty bank account. However it arrived, that first big chunk of change, it represented freedom, it represented validation, and most importantly, endless possibilities. Suddenly, the world was your oyster, and you literally had the capital to prove it.
Okay, let's dive into this with our first section, the urge to splurge.
Because the absolute second that money clears, almost all of us face a very real, very powerful conflict. It's a mental tug of war. In one corner, you've got this immense pressure to, quote unquote, treat yourself. I mean, you've been clocking in, working hard, dealing with tough tasks, and society is practically screaming at you that you deserve a reward. But on the other side of the ring, weighing heavily against you, is a general lack of financial literacy. Most of us just aren't taught how to manage a sudden influx of cash. We don't have a blueprint. So naturally, the loudest voice in our head becomes the one telling us to go out and celebrate. As we see highlighted here, treating yourself after working hard is the dominant instinct. And I want to be incredibly clear on this. There is absolutely no shame in this whatsoever. The temptation to splurge is so real and completely valid. You put in the hours, you sacrificed your free time, and wanting a tangible reward for all that effort is just human nature. We're not here to judge that instinct at all, but rather, we want to understand it so we can actually make it work for us instead of against us. Which brings us to section 2. Which spender are you?
So we've identified 4 really common spender archetypes, and I guarantee you're going to recognize yourself in at least one of these. First up, we've got the immediate splurge. This person hits them all, buys the absolute latest gadgets, upgrades their wardrobe, and treats all their friends to a fancy dinner. Then you have the incredibly rare, sensible saver. This unicorn marches straight to the bank and opens a high-yield savings account right away. Third is the responsible pair, immediately tackling overdue bills or chipping away at debt. And finally, we have the oops spender. This person didn't exactly plan to splurge, but, a coffee here, a subscription there, and, well, the money just kind of mysteriously vanished. So, which one were you?
Let's talk about that oops spender for a second. We've all heard the stories, or, let's be honest, lived them. You buy a couple of new gadgets, maybe a console or those headphones you've been eyeing for months. You tell yourself, hey, it's just one big purchase. But then you add in a few celebratory takeout meals, and before you know it, you open your banking app on a random Tuesday morning, fully expecting to see your newfound wealth, and you're met with a terrifyingly low single-digit number. It's that classic, oops, I spent it all moment. Highly relatable, slightly painful, but for sure a common rite of passage.
Look, the immediate splurge is an incredibly fun, totally natural reaction. We crave those visible, instant rewards. We want to hold the gadget, wear the clothes, taste the expensive food, really just to prove to ourselves that our hard work was actually worth it. It's a celebratory victory lap. But once that victory lap is over, we kind of have to pivot toward a slightly more pragmatic reality to make sure the next paycheck doesn't suffer the exact same fate.
Moving right along to section 3. Building smart financial habits. While that initial splurge is undeniably fun, this exact moment, right at the beginning of your earning journey, serves as the ultimate foundational building block for your future financial success. It's a truly crucial moment. The habits you start forming right now, even in their most basic infancy, they're going to echo throughout the rest of your life. And trust me, it is so much easier to build a good habit from scratch today than it is to try and unlearn a terrible habit years down the line.
So the crucial point is figuring out how to avoid that financial intimidation. And we do that with actionable steps. Step 1. Set up a basic budget. Now, this doesn't mean some crazy complex spreadsheet. It just means knowing what comes in and what needs to go out. Step 2, save a tiny portion. Notice the word tiny there. We are definitely not asking you to lock away half your earnings, just a fraction. Think of your paycheck like a giant pie, that massive, dominating slice that's still completely dedicated to your spending, your bills, and your fun. But carving out just a microscopic sliver for savings is a massive victory. Why? Because honestly, the dollar amount doesn't matter right now. What matters is the action itself. You are establishing the muscle memory of paying yourself first. Once that habit is built with a tiny slice, you can easily grow that portion later on as your income increases.
Let's move to section 4 and see how this all builds, setting your financial intentions.
At the end of the day, there is really no right way to spend a first paycheck. If you blew it all on a designer jacket, that is perfectly okay. If you hid it all under your mattress, hey, that's okay too. Early financial mistakes are absolutely fine. Think of them as the tuition we pay in the school of life. The only thing that truly matters is that we look back at those choices without any judgment, we learn from the experience, and we set better, clearer intentions for all the paychecks that follow.
To summarize the core lessons of our explainer today, first, learn from those early experiences, whether they were immediate splurges or sensible saves. Second, set clear financial intentions. Start mapping out that tiny sliver of the pie chart for your future self. And third, if you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can continue building your financial literacy with us. I want to leave you with this. What did you do with your very first big chunk of change? Did you buy something ridiculous that you just laugh about today? Or did you start a savings account that you are incredibly grateful for right now? Do you have any deep regrets or maybe incredibly proud moments from that first financial milestone? Take a look inward, think back to that moment, and please jump into the comments and share your stories with us. Thank you so much for exploring this topic with me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.